Every week in baseball has a rhythm. Not just wins and losses, but stories. Quiet ones, game-changing ones. This past week, the Diamond gave us a mix of power, precision, and even a new beginning off the field. Let's take a walk through the moments that shaped MLB from April 13th to April 19th. Fenway has a way of remembering. It holds on to names, to moments, and to players who have left their mark. Trevor Story is one of those names. Familiar, though quiet in recent months. After injuries and the long road back, it wasn't clear when, or if, he'd find that rhythm again. But this week, against the White Sox, something clicked. 2 3-run home runs. Not forced, just smooth swings on pitches he recognized, timed just right. The kind of contact that feels immediate the moment the bat meets the ball. He drove in 6 runs. But more than that, he helped shift the momentum of a team trying to gain traction early in the season. In a game that often rewards patience, this was a payoff. For Story, for Boston, and for fans waiting to see if the veteran infielder could still impact a game in the way he used to. This week, he answered. Tyler Soderstrom isn't the name most fans expect to see at the top of the home run list. But baseball isn't always about expectations. Sometimes it's about timing, arriving not just at the plate, but into the spotlight when it matters most. This week, Soderstrom led all of Major League Baseball with 8 home runs. That's not a pace easily kept, but it says something about where he is right now. His .328 batting average wasn't built on bloops or bad luck. These were clean hits, line drives with lift, barrels meeting baseballs with purpose. What makes Soderstrom's rise more notable is where it's happening. In Oakland, where the team is still in transition, the roster shifting, the stands not always full, here's a player quietly building a case for belief. He's adjusting to off-speed, working counts, going opposite field when needed. It's the approach of a hitter who's not swinging for the fences, and that versatility is key. The Athletics have used him behind the plate and at first base, but no matter where he stands defensively, his bat is what's turning heads. For a club trying to shape its identity, Soderstrom might be the one steady thing to build around. He may not be drawing national headlines yet, but in the dugouts and scouting reports, people are paying attention. If he keeps this pace, quietly and steadily, there won't be a conversation about the best young bats in the game that doesn't include his name. This week, Shohei Ohtani's journey took a heartfelt turn. He and his wife, Mamiko Tanaka, welcomed their first child, a baby girl. Ohtani shared the joyous news on Instagram, expressing gratitude to his wife and the medical staff and noting that they are very nervous yet super anxious parents. Mamiko Tanaka, a former professional basketball player from Japan, played for the Fujitsu Red Wave in the Women's Japan Basketball League from 2019 to 2023. Standing at 5 feet 11 inches, she was known for her skills as a forward center and represented Japan at various international competitions. The couple's relationship remained private until Ohtani announced their marriage in February 2024. Since then, Tanaka has been a supportive presence, often seen at Dodgers events, including their trip to South Korea for the season opener. As Ohtani embraces fatherhood, he took a brief leave from the Dodgers, being placed on the paternity list, which allows up to 3 days of absence. This new chapter in his life adds a personal milestone to his already illustrious career. It's easy to look at the New York Yankees and think of stars, names with weight, contracts with commas. But this week wasn't about power hitters or headline trades. It was about holding the line when everything starts to slip. Injuries began to pile up. Giancarlo Stanton, once again sidelined. Jonathan Loaiziga, out. Louis Gill, dealing with soreness. The kind of attrition that quietly shifts the tone in the clubhouse. Depth gets tested. Expectations get quieter. But this team didn't fold. Instead, they started winning. 6 straight. Not on the back of a superstar, but from a rotation pieced together and a bullpen holding the edges. And in the center of it, Clarke Schmidt. Schmidt returned to the rotation without the fanfare. No promise of dominance, just the task of stabilizing things. And that's exactly what he did. 5 clean innings. Efficient, not overpowering. Ground balls, soft contact. When your offense isn't at full strength, that kind of outing is gold. And behind him, others stepped up. Jazz Chisholm Jr. worked long at bats. Anthony Volpe stretched singles into doubles. It wasn't pretty baseball. It was persistent. And in the Bronx, that still counts for something. This week didn't belong to the flashiest team in the league, it belonged to the one that didn't blink. The Yankees won't say they're back, but they're building something quietly. That's how seasons turn. Not in bursts, but in weeks like this. Baseball spotlight tends to follow the big league stage. But this week, the real electricity started just beneath the surface, in stadiums with half-filled bleachers and scoreboards that still flicker. That's where the future stirred. In Portland, Marcelo Mayer stepped to the plate with the bases loaded. A swing, one pitch, and the ball rose into the night, clearing the wall for a grand slam. 7 RBIs by the time the game was done. Mayer, a first-round pick, has been patient, developing his timing, smoothing out his glove. But weeks like this remind us why the Red Sox have waited, why they've believed. Because when it clicks, it doesn't just look good, it looks inevitable. Not far behind, Roman Anthony put his stamp on the week too. In a doubleheader, he hit 2 home runs, one of them for a grand slam. And that's the tone across the minors right now. Quiet waves of talent building just below the surface. Scouts are watching. Coaches are whispering. Not because of hype, but because of readiness. Mayer, Anthony, and others like them. They're not knocking on the door. They're lining up the timing, waiting for it to open. This week, the future didn't ask for attention. They earned it. One swing at a time. And if you're watching closely, you can already see the outlines of tomorrow's stars, tracing their way through the quiet nights and loud contact. That's the stories of this week. One unforgettable week. But in baseball, the next moment's already on deck. Trevor's heating up. Tyler's launching rockets. Minor leaguers showing they're about to arrive. And Ohtani showed that players are just human beings like us. This season's just getting started, and the sparks? They're flying. Don't miss the next swing, the next streak, the next star. Hit that button. We'll be watching, breaking it down, and just enjoying the MLB heating up. Because here at Baseball Spark, we don't just follow the game, we follow the stories that make it matter. We'll catch you in the next inning.